Let's do this. I don't know how to start this video. Hey guys, if you're new, I'm Serein, and thanks for checking out this video. This might be a weird video for you to be checking out, but maybe it's a good one because you're gonna get to know me, my history here on YouTube, and kind of the things that have happened in the last 5 years. I'm gonna have everything timestamped in the description box in as much order as possible. I kind of did an outline of what I want to talk about, and I know some of you guys don't give a shit. If you don't, no hard feelings. You can click that description box, open it up. You'll see all the things I kind of touch on and talk about. And you can skip ahead, or you can just click off of this video and continue to watch some of my other content. If you are watching this, thank you. And I hope you get to learn a little bit more about me and what I hope to bring to you in the coming future. In the coming future, is that a word? A little background. I've been on YouTube here for 5 years. I looked back and found my oldest video from 5 years ago. I think maybe I've taken a week off here and there, but there's always been consistent content for the last 5 years. I started YouTube mainly making beauty videos, specifically beauty reviews, first impression, Tester Tuesdays, Makeup Bag Mondays, testing new products, how to choose an Urban Decay Naked palette, how to choose a Lorac Pro palette, how to choose a Too Faced palette. And then I stumbled across filming my facial stuff, and you guys really loved watching me get facials. So that became another part of that beauty aspect and creating beauty videos. Why I started. I discovered YouTube, specifically the beauty community here on YouTube, at a time in my life when I was incredibly depressed. I've always dealt with depression here and there, a lot of anxiety growing up. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 22. The reason I wasn't diagnosed is, one, mental illness wasn't talked about in my family. I'm also the youngest of 3, and I'm very emotional, and there's nothing wrong with that. I was just considered dramatic and emotional. To be fair, I can be, especially as a child, but it's also what I was feeling and how I feel. Without discrediting how I may come off to those around me or how I feel, there were issues. I have issues. I think we all have issues, and I think mental illness growing up was not something that was talked about, and it was not something I was comfortable talking about even when my friend was diagnosed with a pretty serious one and ended up killing himself. It wasn't until then that I spoke to a therapist myself at the urging of a teacher that I was studying with, and he has probably been the biggest impact on my life in a positive way. Thanks to him, I did see a therapist for the first time. And I was consistently going, and then I stopped, and then I started, and then I stopped, and then I started. When I discovered YouTube, I was in one of those bouts of depression that just wouldn't end. It didn't help that there was some family issues happening at the time, that I was very lost as a person. I was an actor. I've been acting since I was 14, and I booked my first professional job at 15. And I continued to do that until college, and then I took a break, went to college, got all sorts of screwed up in the head, and came back to LA and pursued acting again, and was working like on and off, made decent enough money where that was how I supported myself, along with survival jobs. Like, I worked at restaurants, I worked at Starbucks, I've done a lot of random odd jobs. Also how I met Chris, and we can talk about that in another video if you want. Anything that I kind of touch on, I'm open to discuss more with if you want a separate video for that. So I was in a really bad place. It didn't help that I was in an industry where at the time was very stereotypical for an Asian American, and they were only looking for very specific types of Asians. Again, a whole nother video, I feel like, that I could talk about this. I was getting frustrated. I was also coming to a point where I couldn't really play high school anymore, but I wasn't quite old enough to play the next category of age. So So for me, it was very challenging in the like TV and film world, whereas I was still booking commercials, and that's kind of how you make a living as an actor for the most part, is booking these commercials. Unfortunately, commercials weren't paying as much as they used to anymore either. A lot has shifted in the industry. I felt really lost. I felt really unfulfilled by my job, because even though I was on set, that like before I was even able to enjoy being on set, working, getting paid very well, I would start thinking about having to do it all over again, having to wait for an audition, having to go to 15 auditions in a week, going to the callbacks, hoping that I look right, hoping I match with this guy, hoping that they don't think I'm too thin, too fat, too ugly, too pretty, whatever it was that I was too much of, and just having no control over even the auditions, because as an actor, you can do everything in your power of getting training, getting the best headshots, staying fit, looking the right way for your category, and just doing everything, going to workshops and learning as much as possible, reading as much as possible, and you have no control whether or not your agent's gonna call you or email you with an audition. And then once you get to the audition, you have no control, because so much of the time is anybody could do the part that gets called in. It's a matter of like a pairing or a look. So knowing all of that, not having job fulfillment, and kind of just being lost, though I was pursuing and doing what I'd always wanted to do with my life, which was perform and be an actor, I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to tell stories. I wasn't able to be a part of a community, because so much of it was not in my control. I also, at the time, didn't have a survival job, because I was married to Chris, and he paid, I'm very grateful, he paid for all of our living expenses. As a husband, he's always been financially supportive as well as emotionally, and just everything. He was very, very supportive. And it was really hard on him to see me feeling all these things, not being able to get out of bed, not feeling fulfilled, being angry after a full day of work on set on a legitimate project. And I was just really depressed. And he was going through a time too where he was trying to evaluate what he wanted out of life and what he was going to do next, because he had worked in entertainment his entire life, and what he was doing wasn't making him feel good anymore. So he was trying to decide what he wanted to do with his life and his career, and I was trying to do the same thing. And I could tell that he wasn't very happy, and that didn't help my depression. For whatever the reason, it was a really rough time. And those are just a couple of the things that kind of contributed to me not being able to get out of bed or off the couch. I would say for the most part, I'm pretty functional, because if I have an appointment, I'll get myself there. But it was tough, and I was not happy. So randomly, I discovered the beauty community, and the first videos I was watching was Michelle Phan, Miss Glamorazzi, now Ingrid, Fleur de Force, Nikki Philippi. I found this group of really positive young women who just shared what they were buying, shared what their favorites were, and shared how they wore their makeup. And I wanted to be a part of it. First, Ingrid reminded me that I love makeup, and I had stopped wearing it, and I had stopped playing with it, and I had stopped caring about how I looked, because I was letting my mood determine how I dressed and felt on the outside. During this time, these beauty gurus or these beauty channels inspired me to go to the drugstore, buy myself a new lipstick, try out a new foundation, and just play again and find the simple pleasures of putting on beauty products. I've always loved beauty products. I've always been obsessed with skincare, and I always had a very strict skincare routine, and I loved being in the makeup trailers, asking them what products they were using and watching them apply my concealer and making it look so flawless. So the beauty community here on YouTube sparked that passion again and reminded me of how much I loved it. And I was like, wow, there are other people in the world who are as obsessed with Sephora as I am, who can spend hours at an Ulta and go through every single new product like I can. And I found a place, I found a belonging and a camaraderie with everybody watching the videos and everybody producing the videos. And out of a whim, My first video, I decided to film a Sephora haul, filmed it on my laptop, and that's kind of how YouTube started for me. I had a blog when I got engaged to document my engagement, and that was just an online journal. I didn't know blogging was a thing, really. It was just an app on my Google account that I was using back when Blogger was still a thing. And YouTube started to become more and more of my passion. I kind of redesigned my blog and kind of reorganized my blog a little bit more to reflect my YouTube channel. So both of those things kind of grew hand in hand. I became obsessed with uploading videos. I didn't care how many people were watching. I thought if I could get 100 views, that was the best day of my life, because 100 people wanted to watch my videos and talk to me about what I was testing or what I was using. And I fell in love with the community, and I wanted to build the community, and I wanted to be a part of something. And that's what got me out of my depression. It helped me dress myself happy, which was the name of my channel. And what I continued to create content for was to help motivate and inspire you guys to look and feel your best from the outside in, because that's what YouTube did for me. That's why I created content and continue to create content, and I still love it. But there were some hard lessons I learned throughout the process. My skin got worse for a while. I was testing more and more products, and I was buying more products and wanting to try the newest of everything, that my skin got worse. I'm suddenly buying more skincare than I'd ever bought, wearing more makeup than I've ever worn, testing different brands, testing different products, the newest, the best. And everybody loves these things, or everybody talks great things about these things, but my skin's getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm having more skin issues than I've ever had before. And that's what led me to realizing and learning about ingredients. What ingredients irritate skin, specifically what ingredients irritated my skin, and how there is a difference between quality of ingredients. And I had to kind of relearn and realize sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's about the quality of the ingredients, not more ingredients. Finding what worked for me. I'm gonna say this a lot. I'm an 80-20 type of girl, meaning I try to do the best 80% of the time, but I forgive myself 20% of the time. I think that's the best way to approach change, and that's the best way to maintain change. When I started going into more cleaner, toxic-free ingredients, it's not that I don't use science-driven ingredients that have been proven to work. I just try to eliminate the things I don't need, like synthetic fragrances that can be irritating to the skin, petroleum or mineral oils, which I don't find I need for my skin. Is it in some of my makeup? Most likely. I'm gonna be honest, it probably is. It's so particular to the individual. So I like to just share what works for me, and if it works for you, that's great. If it doesn't, that's totally okay. So that is something good that came out of kind of ruining my skin with testing out all these things. Another thing that's changed is I turned my YouTube and blogging stuff into a full-time career. I like to say I'm a freelance content creator because while produce tons of content, I don't get paid for a lot of it because I love doing it. But at the same time, I also do need to make a living. I do need to upgrade my equipment, maintain my blog, maintain my websites, you know, pay for the music used in my videos. And that's amazing because I get to do what I love every single day, but it's also a negative because now my hobby is now my job, and I don't have another hobby right now. I became obsessed because I love my hobby. That's why it was my hobby, and I can spend hours with no sleep and rest only thinking about creating content and what to do next. But it's not healthy either. So trying to find a balance between finding other things that I enjoy to take my mind off of what is now my full-time career, but I love it. So I've had to find other things and rediscover other things that I love, like getting fit again. I really enjoyed working out, but I wasn't making time for it because I justified, since my hobby was now my job, that I should spend all my time on that. I really love reading, and I stopped reading because I was spending so much time working, and it's okay to take time to read. I think one of the biggest life changes that's happened in the last 5 years is that my mom suddenly got sick. And knowing that my mom had me later, she was 40 when she had me, I knew that my mom was not in the best health, but she was always so positive and always just ready for anything, and she was my best friend and my biggest supporter. So having my mom get sick that suddenly was a huge life change, because I had always assumed, stupidly, because anything can happen, that my mom would age gradually, that her health would decline gradually. But it was just a sudden shock. I had dinner with her, everything was fine. She was living on her own, driving, completely independent one day. And the next day I got the call. And she was completely dependent. And we didn't know if she would ever recover. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to live through, experience, and grow from in the last 5 years, in my entire life, honestly. And I did it online, and you guys helped me through that. It kept me from getting into a deep, darker depression than I probably was already in. It kept me getting up in the morning. It kept me somewhat attached to life. And it's thanks to you. Thanks to you for watching my videos. Thanks to you for sending me your stories, for sending me your prayers and your encouragements. That's how I got through that. Then, of course, losing my mom the following year. One of those times when I probably would have been in a dark place. And I'm not saying I wasn't. I'm just saying I was able to still function and still be a part of life because of my channel. Because I knew that you guys would watch, that you were sending me messages, that you were thinking about me and my family, and that I wasn't alone. So many of you guys shared your stories with having either have known someone with a stroke, experiencing a parent who had a stroke, or experiencing a stroke yourself and recovering from that. And that made me want to tell my story and share what I was going through, because I knew that if your messages could help me in this time, that hopefully my videos could help you if you were experiencing this, even if it was just one person. So the last year or so I've been grieving, and I'm not done grieving, and I don't think it's something that you're ever done with. I think it's something you learn to live with. Losing a parent puts you in a club that nobody wants to be a part of and nobody knows about until they're in it. I think that's what the quote is. It's gotten twisted through the years, but it's so true. That's where I'm at with grief. Some days are good, some days are bad. Some days I can laugh and I can find joy, and then there'll be hours where I feel like this can't be life. This can't be the world. Like, this can't be my life. Yeah. Another thing that has changed in the last 5 years is I have discovered CBD. CBD has been such a huge benefit, and Chris and I, our marriage is better because of it. I get really down, I have anxiety, and that leads to me behaving a certain way that can be very hard on a significant other. Actually hard on me too. And having CBD just takes the edge off. I take hemp-derived CBD, so there's no THC, which means I don't feel a high. Balances my body and my mentality. I microdose every day. Because of our love for CBD, we started sharing it online about the benefits of CBD, and we got a lot of questions about it, which made us realize we needed to create a safe place for people to try and shop CBD. So we started The Art of Care, which is a curated self-care shop. Specifically, we curate CBD products, but we also will have other self-care products that align with our values and core beliefs. Unplanned, Chris and I are small business owners, and that's crazy because I never thought I would want to or even be able to handle being a business owner like this, because there are so many things that you don't even know until you do it. That's like one of the biggest changes this year, is starting this business and really becoming partners as business owners together, as well as really becoming a married couple in a better, more positive way, because we both are able to communicate better thanks to CBD. Throughout all of the changes, I had to ask myself, what is beauty to me now? Because things have changed a lot and my style has changed. I think anybody who is growing and constantly evolving as a person, your style is going to change, your likes are going to change, your wants in life are going to change. And that definitely has happened specifically in the last 2 years for me. And to me, beauty is more than what people think beauty is, which is skincare and makeup. For me, the reason beauty is so popular and so significant is because it can truly be transformative for someone inside and out. But more than that, I think beauty is overall wellness, meaning fitness, diet, sleep, mental health. If you mentally can feel good about yourself, then you're gonna feel beautiful about who you are. And if you feel physically strong and agile, that's gonna help you be more confident and feel better about yourself, which again leads you to feel more beautiful. And when you feel beautiful and confident, other people see you as that. All encompassing, it's self-care, it's mental wellness, it's fitness, it's health, it's strength, it's clarity, and it is skincare, and it is makeup. The last year has been a growing year for me, and a self-reflecting year, and a reflecting of my channel. And I want to share with you some of the side effects of YouTube. The first thing is, I realized how YouTube made a shopping problem a bigger problem. It also made a hoarding problem, or a tendency to hoard and hang on to things, a bigger problem. Before YouTube, I had loved shopping. I still love shopping. Shopping to me was something I did for fun. It was a hobby. It was something I did with my mom multiple times in a weekend. It was something that I did with my friends to socialize, to hang out with. It was something I would do on my own to feel better about myself. When I was having a bad day, I would go and buy something. Not something I needed, not something I loved, not even something I necessarily wanted, but something in that moment that made me feel like I was gonna be a happier person because I owned it. Watching YouTube haul videos made me realize I wasn't alone, but it didn't make me realize the problem with that. It made me okay or normalize a problem of overspending money I didn't have, buying things I didn't want, need, or use. And having a YouTube channel gave me an excuse to buy more stuff because I wanted to try it out, or because I wanted to film a haul. In reality, I just wasn't feeling good, or I'm typically not feeling good and want that endorphin rush, that instant gratification, that pleasure seeker in me. And it would work for a minute, but then all of the stuff I bought would literally go to waste. Most of it was not sustainably made, so I was contributing to low wages and waste. It was bad. It was just really, really bad. And let's not even talk about the financial burden I put us in. It would be like, I'd look at my credit card statements and be like, what did I even buy? How could I have spent that much in 1 month? On what? What do I have to show for it? And I try to get a handle of it multiple times, and to be honest, I'm not perfect, but I'm much more aware of the situation. And that's also why I started a capsule wardrobe, because a lot of it was fast fashion, and I have no problem if you want to buy fast fashion here and there, as long as you wear the items you buy. Because look, it is affordable and it's trendy, and you can get great pieces that you actually will wear for years. Chris will buy H&M and Primark shirts and polos and wear it for 4 years before they fall apart. So in that situation, I don't mind. But what I was doing was contributing to the waste and this vicious cycle. And I look back and I'm like, look, we make decent money, we live in an expensive city, we eat pretty clean and healthy, and we do have an expensive lifestyle because we live in LA and the cost of living here is just more. But I would have a lot more money in my bank account, or maybe I would have been able to travel more if I didn't buy a bunch of shit. And so that's a huge side effect of YouTube. And I think now people are starting to realize this and move towards a more sustainable practice. But I think with all these unboxing videos, which I started doing because I thought they were fun, and then I slowly kind of stopped doing because everybody started doing it and I felt like it made all of us look like assholes. Look, it's no secret. We get a lot of stuff sent to us. some beautiful packages, some beautiful products, some lovely, lovely things, and I'm grateful for it because it helps me be able to continue to produce videos and content and try new things and let you know how things work. It's part of the job. But at the same time, I don't want to make anybody at home who doesn't have a blog or a channel feel like they need all these products. On top of that, if you already have this tendency to hang on to things, to want more things, to want to try more things, to feel like if you had more, you'd feel better, YouTubers were not helping the situation. It didn't help me. People who have left me a comment saying that they stopped watching YouTube videos, specifically beauty YouTube videos, because it was putting them in a financial burden. That should never be the case. Watching YouTube, watching anything should not make you feel bad about yourself where you need to go spend thousands of dollars that you don't have. I hoped my review videos would help you narrow down what you actually needed, and if you were looking at trying this product, maybe you would go buy it if I liked it, and if you didn't need it, then not to buy it until you needed it. And so that kind of made me reevaluate what I wanted to share with you guys. Obviously, I still get a lot of stuff, guys. I still shop. I still buy a ton of things. But I try to be better and more conscious about it. And then in terms of unboxing videos, I try to be very honest with you and say, look, the stuff was sent in for review purposes. That's a huge side effect of YouTube and a huge negative of what YouTube did to me. And I'm trying to overcome that with content and with myself. I don't want to contribute to the waste and the excess. I love YouTube because that's also how I learned about it. Watching people like Ali Cherry and Eminem Beck, and learning about van life and learning about sustainability and how much damage fast fashion and these PR boxes were actually doing. Like, it opened up my eyes and it made me realize I need to stop and think about things. When I meet with brands and they ask me for feedback, I tell them, like, look, I love these beautiful packages, but please make sure they're second use cardboard, they're recyclable, compostable, or I can send it in to be reused. And a lot of brands have listened, and I'm really, really grateful that as a group we can maybe make a difference. I really appreciate getting every shade, but I also really appreciate that Smashbox always sends me a box or a padded envelope to ship any of the products I'm not going to use to be donated to women who need it. Or I can pick actually which charity I want my products donated to. So Smashbox has been doing that for a while, ever since I've been getting PR from them, which is amazing. Bare Minerals is taking initiative to not use single-use plastic or to include anything that's non-recyclable in their PR packaging. Brands are taking notice because I think YouTubers and bloggers are starting to speak up about it. And it's something that we had to kind of go to the extreme so that we can now pull back. I don't want to contribute to waste. I want to be more sustainable in my life. I got rid of paper towels for daily use. We still have them for certain messes, but for the most part, we use microfiber cloths, kitchen towels. I bought coconut scrubbers instead of the non-compostable ones. Coconut scrubbers are compostable. They're great. They just disintegrate. Do what I can. Again, this is where I say 80-20. Do what you can. I replaced my disposable straws with steel ones, and I try to use a reusable cup whenever I remember. I'm not perfect, but I am making steps to change. Another side effect of YouTube is feeling less than. I started to feel less than. I started to feel like it was a popularity contest here on YouTube about who could be the wildest, the most dramatic, who could have the most stuff, who could own the most luxury things, who can give away the biggest prizes, who could have the best settings, the biggest houses. That's not really who I am. I've never really been into drama. I've never really been into needing to be popular, but I felt like I had to be popular to get the brands that I wanted to work with to notice me. Felt like I had to conform, and I hated that. I hated feeling like I had to play this game just so that the people that I respected and wanted to work with would notice me. And whether or not that's true, that was my perception. At the end of the day, I need to be okay with not being liked by everybody and not working with everybody that I want to work with, because maybe they don't value what I have, or maybe they don't want to work with someone with my numbers. And unfortunately, my numbers are my numbers. They are what they are. I've always been like slow and steady. I don't really have these highly viral videos. I'm just me, and who I am is kind of a loner. I've always been that way. I love people and I love having really meaningful conversations with people, and I have a close group of friends, but I've never been into the whole like popular crowd. Have I wanted to be popular? Have I wanted to be a part of that group? Of course I did. Of course I do at times too, but I have to remember that I can only be who I am, and that's me. I'm kind of drama free. I avoid the drama whenever possible. I like what I like. I make what I make because it's just who I am. Another thing that is something that I've been highly considering and thinking about and talking about with Chris is that we might start a family in the near future. And I'm hesitant to even share that with you guys because that leads to a lot of questions. And by me putting it out here, I feel like it opens me up to having to be like so sherry with it. But it's such a touchy subject because I don't know if it's gonna be easy or hard. I don't know if we can at this point. And even if I were to get pregnant, it's something I need to like keep private until it's safe. And I don't know, I have no idea. This is completely uncharted territory, and we're so scared out of our minds. We are beyond scared out of our minds to even consider this. We want to, and everyone says there's never the right time, but I don't know how I'm gonna be pregnant or raise a child running 2 businesses currently by ourselves. Like, we would have to hire help, which means we would have to pay someone a salary, which means we would have to make enough money to pay someone a salary, plus all the expenses of a baby. And I know, everyone says there's never the right time, you'll make it work, you'll figure it out. And I truly believe that, but it doesn't mean it's not any scarier. So what do I want? I want to continue to grow as a person and as a content creator. And I'm gonna do it online. Hopefully you guys will watch. I also want to create content that is relevant to me and my current passions and interests in the moment. So that is going to be beauty, specifically skincare, indie cleaner brands that are doing something innovative, brands that impress me and interest me. And I'm gonna be really picky about the beauty products I continue to use. I've always been picky, but it's just gonna get more pickier as the years go because I know what I like. Not saying I'm 100% clean, I'm not. I don't think that that is something I'm going to be anytime in the next year or so, just because I still want my high performance, and there are products that I'm okay with having silicones in because it achieves this look, and it's not my everyday look, but it is a look. I also do believe in the power of science. Science will lead us to a more sustainable future with more effective products and less harm, but we have to allow science to grow. But beyond beauty, I want to continue to create content that is what I'm going through, like running a small business, things that we should have done but didn't do, or things that we are so happy we did. What's it like being freelance? How failures have taught me a lot, and how it's okay to maybe not overcome a failure right away. I want to share with you my health journey and my fitness journey of rediscovering my love for fitness. I had always been very active, and then when I transitioned into YouTube full time, I stopped being as active, and then I got really depressed and sad when my mom was sick, and I didn't make time for that anymore. And honestly, I gained a significant amount of weight. I hid it pretty well, but I did gain over 30 pounds in a very short amount of time. And for my body frame, it was very, very, very not good, especially since my doctors were a little concerned. I want to share my life with you guys through weekly vlogging or daily vlogging. I just want to share with you what makes me happy and what keeps me positive and motivated, and maybe things that don't keep me as motivated and positive, so that maybe you can learn from it as well. I just want to share how I continue to try and be the best version of myself every day. And I hope that my content will inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And hopefully if you're down or if you're going through some of the experiences I'm going through, that it can help you and you know you're not alone. And at the end of the day, I hope my videos help reignite a passion or help you find a passion in your life as I continue to search and follow my passions, which is still beauty and still creating content, but also so much more. What to expect moving forward. You're still gonna get those beauty reviews, demos, tutorials, how-tos. It's just gonna be a little bit more curated. I wanna create videos on tips on how to run a small business, or kind of our journey in running a small business, and hopefully as we grow. I wanna help you find your passion in whatever it is you might want to start, and you can apply a lot of these things to small businesses or to just a new passion or a new side hustle or a new venture that you're going after. At the end, I just want to leave you with this. I am not perfect by any means. I am nowhere near perfect. I am as flawed as you could probably come. But I hope we can build a community together that is honest, positive, supportive, and inspiring. I want this to be a place where you can come to feel good, to de-stress, to take your mind off of whatever it is you need help taking your mind off of, maybe get some tips and tools to help you in your life, maybe be inspired to try something new in your life. And at the end, I just want you to have a place to come to feel good about yourself and to continue to grow with me. I want us to build this community and support each other to grow. That's it. Please subscribe. It really does support my channel. It helps me continue to be able to create content for you. And if you turn on that post notification, that little bell, bing, it should hopefully show you all of my new videos. But if not, know that for December, I am uploading a new video every single day. Every single day there will be a new video for Vlogmas. And for me this year, Vlogmas means sit down videos, how-to videos, as well as weekly and daily vlogs. It will be a combination of videos. So moving forward, this is my new channel. Doesn't feel that new, but it is. If you guys have been around, you know that there's been a slight shift, a little bit of a transition period, but I feel like sitting down and redefining what I'm about and what this channel is and how I want this community to grow will really focus the future content here. If you would like to be considered for winning any of my holiday giveaways, please make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter over on my blog, serenwu.com. There's a area you can sign up for my newsletter, confirm your email there, and that is how I will be notifying you guys about my holiday giveaways. There's gonna be a ton, and there's also gonna be a ton on my Instagram stories. So make sure you're checking in on my Instagram stories daily, as well as following me over on Instagram. I love you guys more than I can ever express. This community has been there, has been a lifeline for me in times of incredible darkness, even when I'm not posting or sharing everything with you guys. The support is overwhelmingly positive, and it's a lifeline for me, and I hope it can be a support system for you as well. I don't really have anything else to say, other than I hope to see you guys back here in my next video tomorrow, which will be a 3 easy holiday makeup look with Jamie Greenberg, who is a celebrity makeup artist, and she makes me look gorgeous in like 5 minutes each. 3 looks, 5 minutes each. I hope to see you in tomorrow's video, and so does Dolly and Cooper. Okay, bye.